I found a truck at the 2022 Work Truck Show that kind of blew my mind, and it's this. It's in the Isuzu booth up here, but this is a truck that Acela is working with Isuzu on to produce this military-grade cab-over, four-wheel drive truck chassis of your dreams, or at least of my dreams. In this video, I'm going to walk you around this entire four-wheel drive monster and tell you everything about it. There's a lot of detail available here. And also, this is wall-to-wall coverage from Work Truck Show 2022 in Indianapolis. So I'm bringing you everything I possibly can. So let's start from the front. This Acela truck starts as an Isuzu NRR truck, and it is a cab-over truck, and it kind of starts like this. Well, similar to this, but then the folks at Acela go to work. So here's some of the things they do. So of course, they take the chassis and they lift it. So they're using military grade axles. Take a look at this. And it's actually kind of simple stuff. I mean, it's tried and true and proven. I'll tell you about the payload capabilities soon, which I think will impress you. These are 41-inch tall tires, 335/80 R20s, MPTs, and this is a CTIS system, Central Tire Inflation System, available too. So military-grade tires on this as well. This truck, you might think it's being powered by a diesel engine, but it's not. It's Chevrolet's 6-liter Vortec. Yep. The good old 6-liter Vortec engine. Why? Well, just a slightly different use case, but it is lighter weight because of that. It's not a diesel. It produces 311 horsepower, 353 pound-feet of torque, and it's really quite robust. So you don't have to worry about DEF systems. You don't have to worry about heavier weight of the engine, and the torque can be multiplied by the transfer case, which you can see down here, 4 low. So if you gear it down, as you can tell, right here, this is a divorced transfer case, and going to the back as well. If you gear it down, you have a lot of crawling power. Of course, I haven't driven it. This is a world debut of this truck here at the Work Truck Show. The curb weight on this puppy is around 8,700 pounds. And the gross vehicle weight rating is 1950. So this truck has over 10,000 pounds of payload capacity. So your imagination can just run wild. This is a shorter wheelbase. They can also offer a slightly longer wheelbase. You can have it as a crew cab or as a 2-door, just whatever you want. But you can imagine, I mean, utility companies, of course, can buy it. Commercial businesses can buy it, but you can buy it and then convert it to an overland dream expedition rig. I think we will see a lot of these in the coming months and years across the country. I'll tell you the price in a second. So let me go into a little bit more detail here. So it also, of course, has a air system because it has CTIS capability. And then you can kind of modify it further. You can see how insanely big these frame rails are and the rear springs. Pretty simple leaves. Battery is over here. Let's go to the front. So what Acela does is they add this bumper to it. They kind of fill in the lights, the standard lights that may be available on a truck like this. And this is their NRR version once again, but this is an Acela Straya chassis. Then there's a couple of clips here. I'm not going to do it at the show here, but there's a couple of clips, one here, and this whole bumper folds forward. So the full bump folds forward. It gives you access to the winch. The winch in this case is an accessory. It's a 12,000 pound winch. So if you're running, well, let's say 8,700 pounds curb weight, that should be enough. Of course, if you're fully loaded, you may have to go to a higher rated winch if you so choose. And then the entire cab, if you need to service something, also goes forward. It basically tilts forward. If you've been watching TFL Truck, you know I've driven a bigger Acela chassis. This is technically a Class 5. They also offer refurbished Stewart & Stevenson military chassis for sale, where they basically strip them down and paint them, repaint them, rework them. But this is a brand new truck, a 2023 model or 2022. I mean, it's a brand new vehicle with basically factory warranty, a 6-liter V8, very quiet, simple. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Of course, then they had this, a little kind of movable front step to get up. The cab of this truck is basically standard, so it's locked. I cannot show it to you right now, but it's currently a standard Isuzu cab, and Acela will give you a couple more options on the inside. So it's brand new. It's basically one of the first ones that they have built. I'm trying to get the whole thing in the picture here. Of course, fenders, they do this as well. Fender flares, mud flaps, another way to get into the back of the cab. Here you can see one of the breather tubes as well for the intake system.
And I think that's where the conversation kind of stopped.
What do you guys think? I'm pretty excited. At first I thought, you know, all these big rigs should be diesel, but I don't know if there's a reason. I guess one of the reasons maybe range. So how much fuel you could bring with you on an excursion. So if you want a bigger fuel tank, it maybe is up to you. You can maybe update it or get a longer chassis in this case. But the four-wheel drive components are stout. You can see the size of this axle is enormous. It has front and rear locking differentials, as you can tell right here. Disc brakes, so this is not air brakes. And the gross vehicle weight rating is 19.5, so it's a little bit more manageable. I mean, if you're buying a big military truck, diesel, you're talking about heavier weights in general. So let me know, do you think this makes sense as a gas-powered truck? Finally, I promised you the price. This Acela Straya four-wheel drive overland rig, I'm gonna call it, adventure rig, starts at $140,000. $140,000. So it's not inexpensive, but if you can imagine, like for example, let's say a Ford F450 four-wheel drive conversion, F550, maybe a Chevrolet or a Ram conversion, may run you in a similar, close to $100,000 as a chassis, maybe more if it's built up further. So the pricing, I think, is reasonable for what you get, because you're basically getting military grade four-wheel drive system here. As always, stay tuned to TFL Now channel for work truck show coverage from 2022, tfltruck.com, and also tfl-studios.com for all the latest news, views, and automotive reviews.